Morning. So today I want to talk to you about insightful messages. There was something that I listened to from Carl Cease, and he was speaking about kind of having two voices, basically. And so basically, when we're giving advice, it's almost a second person that we're giving advice to, if that makes sense, and that's ourselves. And I found myself having a conversation with my sister, and we were talking just about in terms of what she was doing, where she was going, and so forth. And whilst giving this information and advice, I kind of found that in that place there was like a message that just came up, just illuminated. I said, "Oh, no, this bit's for you." And so I was giving advice, and I thought, and I kind of said to her, and I tried to give an example of where I was. So therefore, when you're giving advice, it's almost like people can almost understand that actually you're not in this, you're in the same kind of territory, if that makes sense. You're not on this journey by yourself. We're all in this place trying to find ourselves, trying to evolve, trying to move forward. So I kind of gave it to her, but it illuminated at that point. And for me, obviously I'm starting a business at the moment, and we're kind of evolving. And at that point, what illuminated for me was the fact that patience, and pretty much about kind of divine timing. And I kind of acknowledge that for myself, I can be very patient in some regards. Perhaps dealing with others somewhat, I can be very patient. But when it comes to me wanting to achieve and get the circumstances of what I want, I want it yesterday. I don't want to wait for it. I want it right now. And it was really interesting, because then when I thought about it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's quite profound and quite an insightful kind of message. Because what that said to me was that I'm not really accepting the circumstances of where I'm at and the situations in my life, and that I'm continually pushing. And I don't think there's a problem in terms of pushing, but I think equally it's very important that you have to accept the circumstances, because if you're not accepting the circumstances, then you can't truly be grateful. And I think to accept circumstances, it's almost like there's a sense of gratitude about where you are, and and therefore then it makes it open for you to receive kind of abundantly. And I thought to myself, wow, so if the universe is like saying, right, okay, looking to give me gifts, but at the same time I'm not even able to appreciate what I have around me, what's going on for me right now, then all the time I'm kind of just not accepting my circumstances and not appreciating, not being grateful for the situation I have in my life. And I thought about the weather, and I thought that it's like having a sunny day. Yes, we all like sunshine, or most of us do, but it's like having a particular circumstance. So on that sunny day, you're like, oh, this is beautiful. I mean, we've had a few days of lovely sunshine just recently, and it was like, oh, this is lovely, this is excellent, this is lining us up for a great summer fest in terms of loads of sun over the summer period. But when we get rain, or we may get some other form of weather condition. How do we accept that circumstance, that situation in our life? And I thought that, that often it's like we're looking for the perfect conditions all the time, the perfect situation, and that outline has got to be perfect. That's got to be that sun and stuff. And actually, when we look at the weather doesn't actually work that way. I mean, the weather simply gives us what it gives us. But it's almost like there's a transition that takes place within the weather. And I feel like in ourselves, we have to kind of, especially for myself, a lesson for me, is that I have to be able to be grateful for those conditions and circumstances in my life. And once I'm grateful for example, it may rain. And once I'm grateful for those circumstances, and I can see the beauty, say beyond, but behind those circumstances, then I can make the most of where I am in that situation. Then I'm ready to kind of almost move on and accept the changing circumstances that comes with that. But if I'm not being appreciative of what that cloudy day may give me, then I never see the silver lining. And it's important that we see the silver lining. It might be, for example, you go for, it's out there and it's raining, you're like, oh man, there's no sunshine. I really wanted it to, really want some sunshine today. And so whilst you're in your home and you're looking outside, you're like, oh, this is a gloom day. And then you kind of look at the gloom day, and then it impacts on your mood in terms of what you want to do, what you want to achieve. But then say you kind of persevere and you say, right, I'm going to go outside. It's raining anyway, I'm going to go outside. And usually kind of 5-10 minutes, if you're going for a walk outside, it's like your perception changes, because whilst on that walk, you're taking in the fresh air, it's lightening your mind, it's improving your mindset, and actually when you come probably 10 to 15 minutes before the end of that, or even you come to the end of that walk, you feel so much refreshed and revitalized just for being outside, and your mindset's changed completely. But often we don't look at the silver lining in those clouds or in those circumstances where it may be a rainy day. We're always looking for that sunshine, and that's what I was doing. I was looking for that sunshine, that circumstance, that situation, and for example, like my business, I'm getting blessings all the time. I talk to colleagues, former colleagues, in terms of what they're doing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I am not there, and I'm living in this kind of freer space, which enables me to develop my talents, develop my skills, and to share and empower others, in a way that is just congruent and honest and authentic to me. And often we don't look at those blessings. I know I haven't looked at those blessings. At the time I'm having the conversation, I'm like, oh my God, thank God for that. I feel so great that I'm just out of this space. But then the moment may pass. It's almost like that sunshine may go, and then you think to yourself, and on another day you kind of look at the clouds and you look at the rain, and you forget that ray of sunshine. And you don't look for the silver lining in that clouds that kind of enables you to kind of say, hold on a second, let me just have a look at the blessings that I have right now. So too often we can get carried away in those situations, in those circumstances. But equally, I suppose the message obviously today was that sometimes that when we're trying to when we give other people advice, there's sometimes advice in that message for ourselves. And I think, that illuminated with me yesterday when I was talking to my sister. It was kind of very profound. I was like, wow, okay, that's for me. I get a sense that's for me. And I felt moved by it. I felt like it was something that I needed to really accept within myself and kind of understand that actually perhaps I hadn't been as grateful for my current circumstance, my current situation. It's like, I think one of my friends talks about spilt milk. That whilst we're always looking at the spilt milk, we don't look at kind of the other things around us that we have. And I think, I would definitely say that just more of an understanding and an appreciation of those things that we have. So I suppose a couple of levels, there's a couple of things really in essence I want to take back from this. One, that when we're giving advice to others, that actually we're speaking to ourselves, kind of almost in our souls. And the other thing really, in essence, is about our situations, that they don't always have to be perfect for there to be a silver lining in there for us. And actually from that silver lining, that's when we're really truly grateful and receive the blessings of the circumstance of that situation. That's when they come knocking on our door, and then we say, I see it, I see the blessings. So just something I wanted to share with you.